It's Nolan. Hustle healthy, gotta lay yourself. Yeah. Protect your pieces like you do your wealth. That's right. Keep on striving for your mental health. Keep striving. Cause you can't live your life for no one else. Yeah. Hustle healthy, gotta lay yourself. It's true. Protect your pieces like you do your wealth. Yeah. Keep on striving for your mental health. Keep striving. Cause you can't live your life for no one else. Starting out, we get subjected to the grind. Money on my mind, trying to find a way to shine. Planning with my people, by to divvy up the pie. On a mission just to rise, need our businesses to thrive. Yeah, watching social, it's easy to lose balance. See the competition and take it all as a challenge. Isolated in silence, feel like you on the island. Nobody understands, you just wanna get a status. But yo, all the stress gets suppressed in your chest. Start to feel it in your back, or the tightness in your neck. Gotta learn to get some rest, even chasing your success. If you don't keep it in check, you gon' have some deep regrets on me. Look, think about your family and the life you building. Cause it's more than the money, it's about your children. Our careers don't make us, but they can't break us. So many people fit the mold, but we can't let it shape us. Hustle healthy, gotta lay yourself. Protect your pieces like you do your wealth. Keep on striving for your mental health. Cause you can't live your life for no one else. Hustle healthy, gotta lay yourself. Protect your pieces like you do your wealth. Keep on striving for your mental health. Cause you can't live your life for no one else. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. As y'all, get into the room, make sure that you punch that like button, hit that share, tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? That's the price of admission, which is free, so it don't cost you nothing. Just hit that button for me. All right? Man, Kendrick Lamar has had the industry talking all mother effing week. He's owned the week just like he's owned the year. A few days ago, he drops Watch the Party Die, or that's what we call it anyway. The record is untitled, but people have taken on their own titles for it. Watch the Party Die, Black Air Forces, which I thought was the least creative. And some people got some other ideas of what it is, but it's an untitled record, right? Some people feel like it's also, from the Heart series, although it's not labeled as such. And typically when Kendrick Lamar drops The Heart from his catalog, an album comes shortly thereafter, but we don't have any verifiable sources to give us that inkling, so let's not go there, right? But it has some sort of kinship, it feels, to the Heart series. Okay? It was a sobering message. I think this was probably not what people expected the next time we were to hear from Kendrick Lamar. Coming off of Not Like Us, coming off of the intro song to the Not Like Us video, a lot of people were expecting that broccoli woke up looking for the broccoli, hot key, keep a horn on me, that got my seat. People thought that was going to drop. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get it. Right? But I think people expected him to come back with a more up-tempo vibe, especially since he had just gotten announced for the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, that was met with mixed reviews. We've talked about the Super Bowl thing all week. I'm going to try to divert away from that subject in this video, but we got to just mention it for a moment as a tidbit. But in that record, Kendrick Lamar comes and he says, sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do, right? And he also name drops D1, says got the heart of D1, but I will blah, 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 blank, 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 blank. So he named two formidable men of faith in hip hop. Let's just say it that way. I don't necessarily want to call them Christian rappers. I don't think they necessarily identify themselves as Christian rappers. Christian rap is, Christian hip hop, CHH, is the colloquial term that's used by artists within the community and those that are outside of it that watch what they have going on. CHH, Christian hip hop. But I think these artists are kind of, I wouldn't say they teeter the line, but they put themselves in the world. They don't isolate themselves within Christian environments, right? Their friends in the industry, the people they hang around are not just um, church folk. They actually go and minister to people at schools. They go and minister to other artists in the industry. You know, again, two men of faith, of strong faith, vocal faith in the industry that Kendrick name dropped in this record. When the song dropped, we got both of them coming out and basically tweeting at Kendrick, hey, I'm here if you ever need me, you know what I'm saying? Let's chop it up, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. D1 has his own set of issues going on right now. He came out and voiced his support for Kendrick Lamar being chosen as the Super Bowl headliner, and he's from New Orleans. So he's actually being threatened by people in New Orleans that don't like that he's supporting Kendrick. He's posted that some of his former friends, people that he's been tight with over the years, have turned on him. He's receiving threats. People are saying they can't wait till he comes back to New Orleans, a touchdown back in Louisiana, period, that they're going to try to do something to him. So he's got his own situation going on, which is fucking ridiculous. I ain't going to lie. But him just coming out and supporting and, you know, kind of, I guess, what people would perceive as him picking a side with Kendrick rather than Wayne, who's the hometown hero, it's gotten him into a little bit of a, I wouldn't say trouble, but a little bit of scrutiny. On the other end, we've got Lecrae, who's now followed up and put out his own response to Watch the Party Die. His version is called, what is it? The Day the Party Died? Yeah, The Day the Party Died. And this is a direct response to Kendrick Lamar. It's a similar style of record, you know, kind of sample based, not really drums. You know, it's a very Alchemist-like type of track where you just focus on the words being said, and the music is kind of like an ancillary piece for you to keep your vibe, keep you tuned in just enough, but it's not something that's gonna create a party. You get what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and pull up Lecrae's record, hear what he has to say, and then in this video, we're also going to get into some of the other public moments in which Lecrae has talked about Kendrick Lamar, talked about him publicly, talked about their relationship, talked about how he views Kendrick Lamar and Drake in contrast. We're going to get into all of those things in this video. So just, you know, as I always say, get your beverage, get your snack, make sure your kids is good, whatever, you know, it is Sunday. So yeah, we're going to slow drag it, but we're not going to take too much time because y'all know how we do over here. All right, but let's get into Lecrae's response record, shall we? And I must note, as Kendrick Lamar came out with the black Air Force Ones as his track artwork, Lecrae comes with the white. All right? Okay, so that's Lecrae with The Day the Party Died. And of course, in typical Lecrae fashion, he comes out and he's giving us his worldview from his Christian standpoint, but also putting himself in the mud, willing to criticize himself, willing to be open to sharing his past. You know, he said he was groomed for a prison sentence or something like that. So for those that don't know Lecrae's story, I believe the early days of him rapping, he was kind of, you know, tailor making his music and his lifestyle to be a typical hip hop story. I believe he was selling a little weed. I don't know if he was selling crack or anything like that, but he was selling weed, and I think his life was changed after he got pulled over. I think he may have got arrested or something like that, or spared. I can't recall just like off top. So if anybody knows that story, don't say, J Nolan, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just, hey, if you want to put the details in the comments, feel free. This is your moment, all right? But I do believe he was pulled over by the police and something ensued from there that changed his life. And He turned his situation around, dedicated his life to God, and he also changed the style of music that he was willing to put out for the people, right? So he's always been somebody who, I won't say is fully transparent, but he's always shared his ups, his downs, his highs, his lows. And there was once upon a time in the Christian hip hop community where people felt like Lecrae was being lukewarm for allowing himself to be in let's just say in communication or in the settings of secular hip hop artists, right? And that's something that went around and circulated against his entire label at one time or another. I don't really hear those conversations as much these days. I feel like he's put on a lot of folks that are, you know, more, I don't want to say steadfast, but maybe a little bit more, you know, direct with their faith in their music, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the lyrics of the record because I want to give him the same respect that I give other lyricists on this channel. So Lecrae comes in, he says, I was wrestling like, should I write a verse? You know, contemplating, should I respond to this? Should I speak about it? Or should I just let it ride? You know what I'm saying? The culture got enough clout chasing vultures out here that trying to prove they worth, right? So he's saying, do I come out and speak to this or do I leave it alone? Because there's enough people out here chasing clout. I don't want to necessarily be another, right? They need attention. They can't imagine me not trying to make myself look bigger off of this Kendrick mention. You know what I'm saying? So anyone else probably would have came the same day and dropped something. You know what I mean? Perhaps. But I'm sure people were hitting him in the DMs, hitting his phone like, what you gonna do? What you gonna say? He took his time to figure out. He says, I can't imagine this position. Before I got on my mission, I was a party victim. I bought the party favors. I used my trauma, my single mama to justify commas to pay the devil's wages, right? The party favors. And of course, at a party, you get little trinkets and snacks and stuff like that. But in real life, party favors is the drogas, okay? And he basically said, I used my trauma, my single mama, which is the same story that a lot of rappers say. Hey, I come from a fucked up neighborhood. I'm just telling y'all what it's, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no other choice. Goddamn, my teacher said I wasn't gonna be shit. Where is all the teachers that said niggas ain't gonna be shit? Round them up and let they party die. Let's see how many of them actually turn up. Y'all niggas be making that shit up sometimes. When they say I use my trauma, my single mama, I come from single mama background, man. What am I supposed to do? To justify commas to pay the devil's wages, right? So he out here dealing, you know, to make his little money and pay the bills. And he said, I used those things as excuses to justify why I was doing it. It probably went over their heads. Basically, what I'm saying is I was government fed, bred for doing time in the feds, but Jesus bled. Instead of putting dents in their head, he turned his, right? So he began to take up after Jesus, modeling himself as much as possible as as a human could. And again, Lecrae has shown us he's imperfect. Even when he talked about trying to minister to J. Cole, he was drunk as a skunk, you know what I'm saying, years ago. So there's that. But instead of putting dents in niggas' heads, he turned his, you know what I'm saying, turn the other cheek. My cup runneth over with nonsense. The hearts grow colder. They love to do evil. They burn their conscience. Okay, I want the dealer's head who gave my cousin fentanyl. So apparently, maybe one of his cousins OD'd off of a bad, strain of fentanyl in somebody's shit. Labels exploiting rap addicts, man, I'm sick of y'all. And that's another thing that's been a conversation is the labels putting life insurance plans on these artists, especially those that are already coming into the system with these habits, or they pick these habits up when they get in the industry, whatever it is, they put the plan out. Once you're gone, we're going to make more money off you. And we're going to probably put out music after you die from you. My daddy ran with Compton Crips. My uncle's Pyro. Didn't know that. Stuck in the middle of this madness. What should I choose? So, if his family has ties to the West Coast gangs, I should be choosing Howard and Hampton. So he said he really should be choosing what college he wants to go to. You know what I'm saying? HBCUs and stuff like that. I love the people that I ran with, but look at the damage. You want me to put you on, but I know you still with the scamming. So I can't put you on. I can't fully trust you. You still out here with the bullshit. A crooked doctor took advantage and hooked me on Xanax. Damn. Wouldn't be the first. Right? It's killers sitting in a cell for taking somebody innocent. And they don't even feel no remorse. The worst ignorance. So he rapping on this motherfucker. But when I take a look in the mirror, the blood of Uriah is on my hands because I'm that killer. So he's saying I'm just as much as y'all are killers, I am too. Right? So when you say the blood of Uriah, I don't know so much about Uriah. Okay, David in his later years started to become infatuated with Uriah's wife, Bathsheba. Okay, so that's where the Bathsheba reference comes in later. Got it. And with so much love that David has for her, he ended up killing the husband in order to have Bathsheba as his wife, committing adultery and murder in the process. Interesting. So that's where that line comes from. Biblical breakdown. When I take a look in the mirror, the blood of Uriah is on my hands because I'm that killer who had Bathsheba in his quarters. I'm that, and it's a blank there, but you could kind of fill in the blank. I'm that nigga, I would think. So he's comparing himself to David and his transgressions, right? Willing to kill a man over his wife, over his own, you know what I mean? Over another man's wife. Like you took him out the way so you could be with her. Who let Eve taste the fruit of death? I'm that sinner. I deserve death along with these liars and hypocrites. Fake tough rappers who fabricate their predicaments. Fake deep guru pushing voodoo on the people. Telling folks that my God ain't real. That's real evil. Now, the whole thing about voodoo and Christianity, you know, there's a long line of back and forth between what is related to Christianity, what's not. I'm not the person to break that down personally, but let's just say that there's a lot of people who practice alternative spirituality that say, you know, a lot of the stuff in the Bible is actually spells. You know, when you're taking, should I really go there? You know, the sacrament and all of these different things. The red wine, the blood of Jesus and all of that. People say, hey, those are spells that y'all are conducting. So when you talk about voodoo and witchcraft and stuff, y'all participate in it in your own way. Y'all just like to condemn others that may not do it with y'all or do it. You know what I'm saying? But I think anyone that's willing to do it with evil intent should be criticized. I think that's where it should be. But anyway, let's keep going. I don't know who's telling them that his God ain't real, that's real evil, but there are definitely people out there that are non-believers or believe in other things. So I get it. I wonder what Lecrae would do. Hopefully seek the hand of God and tell him that he's incapable. But truthfully, I'm nobody to judge. My good deeds are like some period blood stains on a dirty rug. That shit ain't coming out. Okay? They worthless. Your good deeds won't get you to heaven, according to Jesus. All that I can offer them is Jesus' love. I know it sounds foolish to many, like really, that's all you got for us? Yeah. The cross is what? The cross is foolish to the perishing. The world will call me weak and the saints will say I embarrass them. I walk through the valleys full of evil. I'm aware of it. I can't condemn the world and burn all of the heretics. Right? Forgiveness, basically. Like you can't condemn the world, burn everybody down. Like you have to extend the same grace that God has given you. Love is patient, so I'm trusting the narrative, and Christ ain't watched the party die. He died instead of it. So instead of watching the party die or using his hands to physically kill the party, he gave himself so that we would be forgiven, right? So again, as I stated before, Lecrae is trying to mirror that heart, that grace, that love that Christ would bestow upon us rather than watching the party die or enforcing it. All right. So that's the record. I like the record. I like the response. And I think this is a good alley-oop for people to kind of get a little bit more familiar with Lecrae. He's been around for a very long time, but I still feel like there's a lot of people that don't know who he is, may have heard his name, seen his name around, but don't really know his craft like that. Lecrae can spit, especially when he's motivated. You know what I mean? He goes through his spells of, putting out easy music, easy listening, but he can really spit when he want to get there. You know what I mean? And when I say easy listening, I'm just saying he don't always push his pen like a supreme lyricist, but he can get in that bag. That's all I'm saying. So let's get into Lecrae and his comparison. Well, let's not talk about the comparison. Let's first get into Kendrick and Lecrae having a friendship outside of music, a relationship outside of music, but never working on music together, and why it's been that way. Give me a second here.
Lamar song or something like that?
So I didn't turn it down. What I did was I didn't pursue it. So Kendrick said, when me and you do a record together, that's gonna be the world. And I never pursued it because I was too concerned about our relationship. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want him to feel like I'm only over here so I can get that feature. So I never brought it up. I never said nothing. Like we would talk on a regular basis. He asked me questions, blah, 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 blah. Nah, bro, I'm not. Because at the time, I felt like, and I don't know if I would have done anything different, I don't know. But at the time I felt like, I remember us having this conversation about Bob Marley, and I was like, bro, at the time I just felt like God was doing something special with him. And I was like, man, I don't want to encroach on that. I don't want to you got enough people pulling at you. So for me, it was like, nah, I'm not pushing that button at all.
So given what just transpired, do you regret that?
I don't regret it because it would have been a moment in history. But it's like lots of people have a Kendrick, Rich the Kid got a Kendrick feature. It's a moment in history. It's not like it solidifies you or makes you somebody. I think I'm just grateful to be like, man, I know Buddy. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to be like, yo, I know K-Dot. I'm grateful to be like, I got to witness a juggernaut in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of skill and craftsmanship, he could grow as a man as we all could. You know what I'm saying? He not otherworldly to me, but he is a rap juggernaut.
All right. So that's Lecrae's explanation as to why he never pursued a feature from Kendrick, despite their friendship, despite their communication and kinship outside of music. I think it would be, a little taboo if he were to ask for it now, but I think at some point it would be nice for them to come together and create something. You know what I'm saying? I think it would be good for the culture. I think it would be good for just overall. I think it would be therapeutic, because they're two people at the top of their respective spaces, right? Like Kendrick is, if you want to say number one, if you want to say 1A, if you want to, however you put him in the order, he's at the top, right? Lecrae, as far as like the Christian hip hop field, you know what I'm saying, or just people in Christian music, like he's a titan in that space as it pertains to rap. So them coming together, and if they could create something that would come across as authentic, not forced, not generic, but like have a real conversation that people need to hear and make it like musically pleasing. And when I say pleasing, I don't mean it gotta be, radio friendly or nothing like that, but something that people actually want to hear. Like, oh, I could play this and you know what I mean, numerous different times. Like it's not just okay, that's dope. I played it one time, that was cool, never coming back to it. That's all I'm saying. I want it to be something that, a person would actually endeavor to listen to consistently. I think that would be pretty dope. Whether or not we get that, I don't know. It seems Lecrae is more content with their friendship, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have homies that are immensely talented in music that I've never collaborated with, so I could never say that is a prerequisite. But yeah, one can imagine what that would be like. Furthermore, in that same interview, he put out a brief comparison between Kendrick Lamar and a Drake. We'll go ahead and run that real quick. And this is just his opinion and how he sees it. So whether you agree, disagree, go right or left with it, it's just Lecrae's perspective. This interview was conducted before all of this hoopla, before the Super Bowl stuff. So this is not necessarily related, but it is related because of the way things unfolded, and now this stuff is resurfacing.
Did you think Drake stood any chance against Kendrick Lamar? No?
No.
Not a small chance?
No.
Oh, he was crazy.
Drake is a great rapper, but Kendrick's from the culture. You see what I'm saying? Like you can... this is my opinion. Hot take. Drake is a phenomenal rapper. And ghostwriters aside, he's a great rapper. I know he can really rap. But Drake is a fan of the culture. Kendrick is a product of the culture. It's a difference. Hip-hop, rap music has pretty much always been about people coming from the trenches, dealing with some trauma, some pain, the struggle.
Yeah.
It's why Eminem gets the rock like that, because he really come from that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to pop it like that if you don't really come from that. It's hard to have that dog in you if that's not, you know what I'm saying? If your mama was making you lunch as an adult, it's hard to just pop it like that, bro. It just ain't the same.
The nigga said if your mama was making lunch for you as an adult. Hey, man, we are in an evolved time, okay? We're in 2024. People that may have come from the struggle in 1988, 1977, 90s babies, may have came from the struggle in the earlier parts of their lives. That don't mean that they mama ain't get a better job and, try to introduce a lighter side to life to them. Maybe they didn't get that lighter side to life till they was damn near 17 years old. You know what I'm saying? Maybe mama say, hey, I'm finna start making you lunch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe I want to give you a little soup and a sandwich, a soup and a salad. You know what I mean? Dang, what's wrong with that? Oh, man, y'all know I get carried away when it comes to the food, goddamn. But I thought that was funny. But yeah, I understand where he's coming from. He says Drake is a fan of the culture. Kendrick is a product of the culture. Drake is a fan. Kendrick is a product. Those are two different things. It creates two different things. It stems from two different things, two different experiences, and there's nothing wrong with either experience. They just come across differently. I understand that. And I think Lecrae was low-key trying to call Drake a powder puff. I ain't gonna lie. He was calling that nigga a powder puff, man. You shouldn't have did that. You shouldn't have said that. But, there's a lot of people out there that today believe that, and it's okay. It's cool. I don't know what that nigga is. You know what I'm saying? Some of these niggas that you think is soft, niggas be the same ones. The DDP Diamond cut your ass out the blue. So I can't speak to what a man is capable of doing in this world. But I understand where Lecrae was coming from. Okay? Let me see if there is anything additional that I have, because sometimes I get too taken by these conversations and I forget pieces of the puzzle that could have contributed to the conversation. So let me just do a once over real quick to see if there's any additional context that I have saved or anything that needs to be discussed around this subject. I think I've covered all the bases that I wanted to get into. The collab, the song. Yeah. All right, cool. So at this point, be sure to like and share this video. I'm about to sign off. All right. Before we go, make sure if you are interested in a Southside Nolan CD, once again, we only have 50 of them in production. You will have to go to the link in my description. It'll be the first one on there. It's going to take you to my website. You can order that, and I'm putting my personal stamp on it. Depending on where you are, you should have it within a week to 2 weeks at the latest. They're coming directly from me. If you want your CD signed, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. I can do it for you. But that's also going to require me to open the packaging. And I think you want to rip the packaging yourself. So I may have to sign on the packaging just to make sure that we don't, open those up for you. But just, if you want one, you can get it. And yeah, I appreciate it. Big Dog is out now. That's going to be the linked comment in my, down below. And if anybody is like, oh man, J Nolan, you trying to sell us on shit? Yeah, nigga. This is my life. This ain't just my job. This is my life. So yes, but I'm gonna catch y'all later, man. Much love and respect. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Big shout out to, before I go, big shout out to newest member on the channel. This is a Megan Thee Stallion fan, Mesmerized by Nothing. I greatly appreciate you coming and contributing to the channel. Greatly appreciate you joining the membership. It definitely does not go unappreciated or unseen. Thank y'all once again. Much love and respect. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like Soldier Rag. Leading my people like quarterback. But I study this shit on my almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.